All the characters in Curious George are puppets, but they don't move with strings, they move with armatures. Armatures are like little metal skeletons that move at the joints and spine, the same way you do. Even when covered with cloth, the armature inside allows George to move his hands, arms, neck, face, and legs. Of course, someone has to do it for him. Here's the director of Curious George, John Matthews. To make George move, John changes each part of George's body just a tiny bit, keeping track of each movement with a surface gauge. He wears gloves so he won't get George dirty when he touches him. The camera takes one picture, or frame, for each little position change. It takes hundreds of position changes to make George move. John is a very busy man. And here's what John just did. Many of the puppets have removable faces, which are changed every frame or two. From a box of faces, John can choose the right one to make the character smile, frown, or talk. George has a whole set of changeable heads. You can see them here, but in the real movie, you can't tell when the heads are changed. This is called an aerial brace. It moves on a metal rod, which is placed where the camera can't see it. George is hanging from the brace by wires. You can see the wires here, but not in the film. By moving the brace and the puppet position, George can swing through the jungle. And here's the jungle, a miniature one on a large tabletop. As always, it takes a lot of work to film just one sequence. In this case, the scene where George tumbles down in front of the elephant. When George and the man in the yellow hat are in the rowboat, they're not really in water. The waves are made of flexible plastic cast from clay wave molds. The plastic waves move up and down, but the rowboat is attached to a platform which rocks the boat in tiny movements. Here's another part of the jungle with a waterfall made out of plastic wrap. Doesn't that look real? Sometimes the action takes place on a stage which turns around. When the firemen chase George, the camera doesn't move, the stage does. Here's the moving stage, and there's the camera with the two red lights. A wall is removed before the stage is turned so that the wall doesn't block the camera's view. And once again, here's how it looks when it's all finished. Here's a cloud made out of cotton. And here's George and his balloons hanging from a wire attached to an aerial brace. This is called a beam splitter. It's a piece of glass which shows two directions at the same time and makes George look like he's behind the cloud. Animating Curious George is a lot of work and a lot of fun.